Now, I gotta be real with y'all. This is one of the hardest subjects for me to get into, not just because of the way that this specific subject is censored on platforms like this, but because it is one of the most triggering when it comes to almost all people. I mean, for some reason, in the year of our Lord 2025, you will find people who claim to be Christian. They claim to be, religious. They claim to be for life in almost every other aspect of their existence. But when it comes to this one specific subject, it's like they're real lukewarm with it. I don't know what the hell is going on, right? Oh, well, we just don't want to judge. We don't know where the person's coming from, etc. But yet when it comes to damn near anything else, it's perceived as a wrongdoing, as wicked, as sinful. And so, I know that as much as I speak on things that are oftentimes considered as controversial, people want to come for me and, get after me and cuss me out in the comment sections or my DMs or whatever it is. I'm going to go there. Simple as that. I believe it is our job to stand up for the most vulnerable. And who is more vulnerable than the little ones that are being massacred in the womb at scale? Now, we have an organization that, thanks to DJT's signature, is essentially been defunded of around $1 billion, right? We, the taxpayer, were paying for people to take the lives of their unborn. This organization happens to be labeled or named Planned Parenthood, which is the deepest contradiction and irony, because when you start to look into what this organization actually is, they are the furthest thing from parenthood. The only thing planned about it is the taking of that infant's life. That's the only thing that's planned. It is more like plant BARONhood. They are planting BARONhood everywhere. Now, I came across this video, and I just thought it would do us justice to hear it directly from this organization, what it is that they offer. Because some folks out there have this conception that, well, they're helping women with reproductive rights, right? That's what you've been sold by Kamala Harris and the gang. Women's reproductive rights. Okay. Let's see which one of those rights, women's reproductive rights, that they're going to be assisting in. So let's get into it.
Thank you for calling Planned Parenthood. This is Deanna. How may I help you?
Hi, Sienna. Can I come in and get a prescription for my prenatal vitamins?
So we don't offer that service. We don't offer prenatal care, help the baby.
Okay.
Let's run that back real quick. Hold up.
We don't offer prenatal care, help the baby.
Okay. Yeah. Thought that's what I heard. So turns out that they actually don't help with prenatal care. We didn't ask for after the baby's born. Can we get some help? Because they will help you do just about anything else. They will. They'll give you advice on the best positions, to use in order to hopefully mitigate the risk. They will send your teenage daughter text messages on how to have a healthy S3X life. They will do that. They will provide that service. But if you were to, let's say, look for assistance in your planned or unplanned possible parenthood, sorry, we can't help. Now, I know this to be true because, unfortunately, I've been a young man and I found myself in situations where the people around me made decisions that they cannot reverse. And out of the two situations specifically, where my homegirls came out and told me everything that had happened, or I was, in the specific person's life while they were assisted by the likes of Planned Parenthood, actually was them. They weren't there at 2 a.m. when the remains, I can't even, it's not even just because of the censoring aspect. It's like, can I even say this? I I don't want to conjure the damn images up for you, but let's just say that they give a young woman a pill and they tell her, well, there might be some bleeding that's going to take place. And then all of a sudden, 2 a.m., wake up in excruciating pain and you see the remains. And you know where Planned Parenthood is going to be then? You know where they're going to be then? Nowhere to be found. When you now need therapy, nowhere to be found. You know how I know? Because when I was in my early 20s, I volunteered for an organization known as Real Options. Shout out to my people over there. They were classified by Google search as some sort of quacky organization that couldn't be trusted. They're not actually. You know what they were actually? They were an organization that helped women through their pregnancies, that gave women those abortion reversal pills that were there for women after the fact. Those who have been traumatized and see things that they could not erase from their psyches. They were the ones who were there when the babies were born and needed help. And before the babies came and the mothers needed help, they were there and they're still there. Real Option. Shout out to them and anybody doing that sort of work. But you know who wasn't? Planned Parenthood. They're not here to help you. And I'm going to call them exactly what they are. I believe them to be a demonic organization, because who would get into the business of that? You have every business model on the planet right now that you could use as a means to profit. And I'm a true thoroughbred, purebred capitalist. I believe in the free market. But imagine making a decision that, I could start a cartel, possibly get into, the drug game. Oh, no. I know what I can do. I can get into the business of taking the lives of the most vulnerable, the unborn, and then justify it by calling it women's reproductive rights. Your body, your choice. We can push that as a slogan. We can market that out. It's going to be fantastic. They'll all buy into it. They'll be fighting others in order to do exactly that. They will be tooth and nail. They will be fighting in order to do this right here. Our business will be thriving. And guess what? We will be promised a check because the government will subsidize our business. Oh, and we could probably make a healthy margin if maybe some of those organs were to, to be shipped, sold, profited from, allegedly. When you've got a mother who does her best, a mother who does her best to love, to nurture, to care, etc., it gives you such a deep understanding of how far the nature of a woman will go for the sake of her child, of her infant. To think that we live in a day and age where so many women whose biological imperative it is to care for the young wouldn't think twice about taking the life of their own young. I can't come to terms with that one. I just can't. There's no explanation that's been given to me. There's no sort of back and forth. There's no argument that anybody's been able to make with me. And I know they say things like, well, what about those women, who were taken advantage of and, were forced upon and they had children. But the statistics don't read that. The statistics say that upwards to 98% And if we break it down in that 98%, around 76 or 74% are doing it because it is an inconvenience to have that baby in their life, using as a form of contraception. And then another, I believe, what is it? About 20 something percent in there. They're doing it because of compromised future advancement. Might as well be the same group of people, right? And those are the ones I'm talking directly to. And so you say things like, well, it's just a clump, it's just a clump of cells. Just a clump of cells. That's what y'all say. It's not real. It's not really a baby. But yet, when you actually want that child, all of a sudden, all throughout, from the very beginning, you're celebrating, you're excited. We're having a baby, right? It's real interesting to me. And I wanted to bring this up because it came up top of mind right now. I did a TikTok actually on this yesterday. Where is my guy here? That's 4. Oh, okay. No, we got to drag this to the desktop. Okay. Yep. So this image right here, this is a 21-week-old premature born infant, a baby. Bring it on this side. That right there is the very same baby with a little bit of TLC. Same baby right there. 21 weeks is roughly 5 months, 5 and a quarter, maybe. Baby was born damn near 3-4 months in advance and was nurtured back to life like that. But yet, we're going to consider this as just a clump, right? Well, maybe 2 weeks before, then it was a clump. I'm not buying it. I'm not going for it. I'm not falling for it. No. We've created a mentality where it is more important to save and spare people's emotions and their feelings, to not hurt their feelings, as opposed to protecting the lives of the most fragile and vulnerable among us. Think about that. Oh, okay, you're right. It is a clump of cells. I don't want you to feel bad about taking that life. No. But yet let it be somebody else who takes the life of a woman as she is carrying. And that's going to be considered as a double homie. All of a sudden, now it's a life. Doesn't matter how far along. All of a sudden, now it's a life. Be 6 weeks in, now it's a life. All off of convenience. We've sold our souls for convenience. I don't know if Trump knew that he was going to be not just in the place that he is, but actually doing God's work in the way that he is. And I'm saying that for just this specific subject here. You could look at everything else and think whatever you want to think. Oh, it's just his own interest, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's look at this one here. To strip $1 billion worth of funding from this evil organization is God's work. And if your God permits for this and sympathizes with the wicked, I don't know what kind of God you got going on. I don't. So yeah, I want to give a shout out to all the people doing the actual work the most important work when it comes to this specifically. And it's not the people in those so-called clinics. No. It's not these OBGYNs who are profiting off of snipping up life. It's the ones on the other side of that phone when you need them most, who are willing to pick up and do all they can for you. Yeah. And of course, the ones who understand the blessing that it is to have a child, to have the opportunity. I wish y'all knew how many people have been working aimlessly, sleepless nights, year after year, praying, hoping, wishing, doing everything possible just to have the opportunity to have a child in their life. And yet here we are discarding that very thing. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all who raise the babies. Shout out to y'all who care for these children. Shout out to y'all who choose the more difficult path, but the more rewarding path. Shout out to y'all. And for those who have already made that decision, I'm not going to sit here and demonize you, as easy as that may be. But I will say, no matter what you tell yourself, you may be kidding you may be kidding those around you, but you can't kid your creator. And in your heart of hearts, you know that this is something you have to live with for the rest of your life. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace. Aquarius. Where?
I've been up for hours, I've been up for days, yeah. Staring at the ceiling, I've been counting strays, yeah. I've been in my feelings, I've been out of mind. I've been getting visions of the other kind. Yeah, I've been up for weeks. I'm in the count of blessings over count of sheep. I can never be the type to limit when it comes to me. I used to be the pleaser for the